This stream contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised. The stage for the first time, and you don't want to miss this one, folks. Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of VCT Americas Kickoff, coming at you live from the Riot Games Arena in Los Angeles, California. Of course, the current person yelling at you is Golden Boy. I'm joined here at the desk by Mimi and Ender, and we are going to have some fun today with 2 more opening matches. But let's go ahead and dive into what happened yesterday, because there was a lot of pressure opening matches, especially for EG and Loud, starting off the season, starting off the year. Expectations, you know, in relative.
I mean, expectations were quite low for Loud, and I think they exceeded them this game. EG had great opportunities. They were up in both of these maps, but in both of them, Loud mounted some impressive comebacks off of big performances from players like Cow and Zine, and managed to pull off that first win on stage.
Yeah, it was really impressive. And then, of course, we get into the second series, where it was the Asuna show. I mean, 100 Thieves played 0 games of Neon in 2024, and in their debut, Asuna is piloting that agent, and his movement, the way he was pathing his way into sites, was just
made it seem like it was pre-patch.
Yeah, and MIBR was playing like this new comp with the Breach and the Tejo, which has looked pretty good on other maps, but I think the Neon just completely circumvented it. Asuna was just running past every piece of utility, absolutely owning MIBR. So a tough start for them. It wasn't the Brazilian team we expected, but one of them did get a win to start off the season.
Golden Boy, should 100 Thieves fans get excited, do you think?
Ooh, I don't know.
Is it too early?
Is it time to escape
I'm gonna
the
keep it
shadow of doom?
$150 with all you 100 Thieves fans at home. Just chill. Just wait like maybe week 6. You know what I mean?
Fair,
and then we'll see what
Week
happens.
6? That's like
there.
all the way in stage 1.
I'll give it to you from there.
From now.
I'll give it to you from there. You know, I don't want to set any negative vibes out there. You know what I mean? But folks, this is a double elimination bracket. All right, and what that means is it's quite simple. You lose, you get another opportunity, right? So the teams that took L's yesterday, EG as well as MIBR, will have another opportunity to fight their way to be one of the 2 teams that represents this region at Masters Bangkok.
However, you're going to have to win 5 straight games to get to Masters Bangkok. Only 2 slots for Americas.
Hey,
it's real tough.
You know who did that last year, though?
Yeah.
Sentinels instantly went lower bracket because they played the maximum amount of games possible, and they won the whole thing. So sometimes these early tournaments, getting the most reps is actually a big win.
Yeah, very true. The tournament format in general, right, allows you to be able to like just take your time. Look at like week in, week out. You know, you have your week matches. That's one thing. But when you have this tournament environment, the stakes are higher, the pressure's high, and you know you can make some diamonds.
Yeah, it's like take as much time as you want, just don't lose twice in a row.
Exactly. That's the name of the game. All right, well, you know what? Speaking of games, we got a new segment here. It's our Pulsar Flick of the Week. It's not a game, actually, just a segment. But this one comes courtesy of EG's Nature. And look, someone's got to check this guy's PC, because look at this shot.
It's nasty.
He's still moving.
Look at that. Oh, yeah, that never happened to me.
He was just running and gunning. Kind of awesome.
Gotta love it.
Was that a phantom moment? I don't know what gun. I didn't see
Look,
that.
at the end of the day,
Phantom
a
moment?
kill's a kill.
That's real.
A kill's a kill.
Don't ask too many questions.
A dub's a dub. It doesn't matter.
That kill was maybe a little disingenuous, but I think you do have to give flowers to Nature, because he was playing really well, especially that map 1. Like, individually, having incredible moments. I think a lot of people are really sleeping on how good the core of EG that got kept from last year is, and really underrating those guys, but Nature proved how good he is.
Yeah,
Just need to get the win now.
He was doing that all last year as well. I remember, like, especially on Lotus, like, his lurking ability was really, really nice. So this guy's got the mechanics, he's got the game sense. I like his stuff.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what happens with that squad throughout the season. But for now, though, let's go ahead and set our sights on today's first matchup and talk about Furia. This is a team that has struggled quite a bit last year, but they made some roster moves and played very well in the offseason. They took part in the Tichinha Invitational. There were some crazy moments that this team was able to bring us. It really feels like, just like with MIBR, Mimi, we're seeing revitalization from Furia.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't just a part of it. They were running the show. They won the Tichinha Invitational without even dropping a series against some good competition. They were playing teams like 2G, like Loud were there, Crew, and I mean, this was such a good debut for this squad. That honestly people had such low stocks for coming out of last season, but I think they've put something together with a lot more potential now.
For me, Furia is going to be the biggest turnaround team of the year, I think, looking at 24 to 25 coming in here. I think so. I really.
That's a crazy
I
thing.
think what Heat is going to do with this roster is going to be really, really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Heat was just lights out last year on Crew. He went from a player that was kind of known for like having some moments, being a bit of a hothead, to being known as like this incredible team player who's a top initiator and one of the best individual fraggers in the league. It was such a turnaround for him, and he's hoping to bring that energy to Furia now as well.
Yeah, it's super exciting for Furia. The stacks are high.
But
we gotta, this is a big but, all right? And I ain't talking about me, all right? Because here's the deal. We're not going to be seeing this squad today, unfortunately, thanks to visa issues. Instead, we have a roster full of subs, but this actually is kind of exciting as well because we're seeing some, if you watch Challengers, you're seeing some familiar faces.
Obviously, you have to be sad for the Furia boys not getting to debut, but this is such a sick match. For those that don't know, this is the core of the Challengers team, Turtle Troop, that was playing all last year, and it was a good team, right? They were one of the top 2 teams. Some could debate the best of the regular season, but unfortunately, Weeded got diagnosed with cancer. They had some tough times in playoffs and couldn't make it to Ascension. So now they're here playing against the team who went and won Ascension, and it almost feels like an Ascension game that we were robbed of last year.
It's like a chance to, get back out on that stage and say, actually, we deserved that thing. And even for some of these guys, right, like Stellar and Jake coming back to the Americas stage with a chance to play here. Penny, you'd remember from Masters Reykjavik all the way back in the day, so with version 1, in case anyone was wondering. So a lot of these players are just household names. They just haven't had an extended stint here in VCT Americas.
And you know what these subs tell me as well, I mean, for Furia, right? Because you have such a strong team. You have an opportunity to go to Bangkok. I think that, smart to just go and pick up a core and then try and just do something so that this way, last minute, you can try and pull off a dub so that when your team comes in, they're set up for success.
Yeah, and I think it's really easy when you see a situation like this to be like, okay, we'll pull in whoever, we'll get some content creators, but they're clearly taking this really seriously with the players they're grabbing. This is a team that has practiced and played together before, that has a lot to prove. You're a Challengers player, you get to play on the Americas stage. If you play well this tournament, you can really improve your chances of maybe getting on an Americas team in the future.
I'm just really disappointed they didn't go and get like 2020 Sentinels or something. Make the Shroud Sentinel wild again.
It would have been wild. It would have been wild. But look, as luck would have it, though, our casters are actually quite familiar with this squad. So let's actually go ahead and check in with Uber and Wyatt. What can people be expecting from Turtle Troop? I mean, Furia.
Turtle Troop.
Yeah, look, don't blame me for getting it mixed up. I mean, this team, obviously, in Challenges, they weren't all on the same roster. They were YFP and Turtle Troop, actually. And these guys mixed around a whole bunch. I think the only player that wasn't on YFP at some point is Ada, who's a player I'm particularly excited to see play. Really solid Sentinel. And was someone in, 2023 that was, hyped up to be someone to really watch, someone to take the next step into T1. He has the nerdiest deadlock lineups I've ever seen.
His deadlock was so good that it defined the meta in Challengers last year. Every team started playing Deadlock after they were crushing everyone on Ascent with it, to the extent that even a team like Fnatic in EU started running their comp here. So it can't be understated how much influence they actually had on the scene, despite being a Challengers team last year. Across the board, all of their players had excellent maps. They were one of the top teams the entire year. Mimi touched on the unfortunate circumstances that resulted in them not actually making it to Ascension, but this is pretty much the most legit squad you could get to fill in right now. All these players really stepped it up in 2024.
I mean, we had a team that was so dedicated. Weeded was undergoing treatment as he was playing, at the same time. Really incredible story from this team. It was at that TSM run towards the end, I think, of Challenges that ended up knocking them out of contention, and obviously some changes, but this is an exciting team. These guys, despite having been on different teams at times this year, have all played together. They know each other really, really well. It's about the best foot you could put forward for the unascended NA Challengers contingent.
Thank you so much for that, fellas. Yeah, well, let's go ahead and continue the conversation for Furia and really hone in on two individuals who, if you watch VCT, you're quite familiar with. Stellar and Jake, no strangers to this stage. Stellar was IGL for 100 Thieves, got Jake played for C9. They're back.
And both of them got cut by their Americas team. Stellar, after that 2023 year, got cut for the 100 Thieves rebuild, and it was the same for Jake, getting cut from Cloud9 after kickoff. So for these two guys, after being told, hey, you're not worth it to play on our Americas team, you're gonna have to go down and play in Challengers, they have a really big chance to prove themselves today.
And about as good a first game that you could possibly have here up against an equally untested on this stage 2G.
Yeah, no, I think that also is something that needs to be highlighted because 2G, yes, they're coming into this one as, you know, I would say a statistical favor given the circumstances, but like when you look at the situation at hand, you're like, this is their debut game. You know, pressure's on for those guys. But we'll cover 2G and more in just a little bit. For now, though, let's send it over to Riv, who's got some words with Stellar and Jake.
I am in the Furia practice room right now, hanging out with none other than Stellar and Jake as they represent Furia this week. We got some YFP, we got some Turtle Troop in the back. Jake, I got to ask you, coming in for a game like this to represent a team, does it feel like a lot of pressure, or does it kind of feel like the pressure's off and you're just going to go out there and play?
I feel like the pressure's off for us. I mean, 2G have something to prove more than us. I feel like if they lose to us, it'd be kind of rough for them. So I think we're just going to go out there and play, and we're all great players, so I feel like we'll win.
Awesome. And Stellar, you've had basically little time to prep for this. What have you been able to do so you guys can represent Furia out there on the VCT stage?
He's laughing back there. We've been playing here and there. I mean, we were banking on a lot of the chemistry that we've had on Turtle Troop and obviously YFP between a bunch of us. So we kind of already have that chemistry natural and through playtime. So we're banking on that.
Awesome. Well, guys, good luck in the games. Good to see you again. Back to you.
Thank you so much for that, Riv. Now, everyone had their money on M80 becoming VCT America's 12th squad, but it was actually an underdog squad from Brazil that managed to win it all. Let's go ahead and take a look at 2G.
Dapple cross there in spawn, but TSM have seen all of this. I know spikes are going to be coming. Oh, puts them in the microwave. He melts them. 4 down to spikes. That is absolutely putrid. Will allow them to creep up to here, and Zap is going to be the one that has to stand to attention here. 1, 2 is good. And yes, the third is there as well. Zap makes a mincemeat of TSM, and Silence
down A.
deals with the interlopers at the front door.
Can't play Thrall unless you play the tool. Yeah, still force him up to get the kick though.
Ooh, even just right behind the wingman, it doesn't matter. Doesn't manage to just fight this one back. Silence is rolling, ripping right now. A Blacklight flawless, and it's one player that did the majority of the work here.
They find Luis up top of 410 with the Viper's Pit going up. That is a huge first blood. They're not ready for that spam angle, I guess, but Spike this time is ready to stand and deliver. Right kick 5! What an ace for 2G!
So there you can see the story of 2G and how they got to this moment. And it's now time for you all, VCT Americas fans, to get your first look at 2Game Esports. And this squad literally peaked at the best time because now they got long-term jobs. So congratulations
Seriously.
to those guys.
I mean, even within that Ascension tournament, like them running away with that whole thing was a shocker. Like they weren't even coming in as heavy favorites into the tournament.
Yeah, I was going to ask, was anyone even talking about these guys going in?
And especially after the round robin, because they went 2-3 in the round robin. M80 was undefeated, but they really heated up in playoffs.
They were close games, but this was the number 2 seed from Brazil. No one saw them coming out and winning this, but that's the thing about Ascension. You just have to peak for that one tournament, and then you get your slot. But looking at the here and now, I think you really have to put emphasis on how brutal this year's format is. You don't get 2 years as an Ascension team guaranteed. You only get 1. You have to be making it to champs, being the top placing Ascension team to have a chance to stay in. So it's really performance oriented if they want to stay in the league. And that has to start today.
It has to start today, but it's not without its other share of challenges for 2Z because the up and coming, superstar prospect of Spike is only 17 years old, so he can't actually play with the team until after his birthday on June 2nd.
But it's in June. That's not too far away. So really, I think
when you look at our schedule, it kind of is.
Sure.
Like that's kickoff, that's stage 1 gone already.
But that's why I'm saying that they need to be good in stage 1, in kickoff, and get things set off on the right foot to buy time for Spike to come of age and join the league.
Well, something that really stuck out to me in that interview that Riv did earlier with Jake was when he said, they're the ones that actually got to prove something here because this is their slot. We're just here for the day, to do the thing. So I agree, there is a lot of pressure on those guys here.
And remember, it's not just coming to play in the league. For Brazilian players, it is moving thousands of miles away from home to a different country. Yep. The organization having to set up in Los Angeles. It is a huge risk for these players to be here and be competing. So winning is absolutely critical for an Ascension team like this.
Yeah, could not agree more. But for more on today's matchup, let's actually go ahead and send it over to Doug, who's standing by with a very special guest.
Thank you so much, GB. Yeah, I'm joined by resident expert on all things Brazilian Valorant, Tishinha. Brother, it's so good to have you join us. I got to get your thoughts on MIBR, what happened yesterday, because they did not look nearly as good as I thought they would.
First of all, thank you so much for having me here, Doug. Thank you so much, everyone in the Americas. MIBR surprised me, but negatively, you know? I think that MIBR had like a good proposal, but they didn't play like the proposal, like they should play. They're trying to do stuff that the comp didn't allow, so that was the problem. And I was hoping that the crosshair, the aim of the players were better in the first game, but I don't know if they were shaky, if they were nervous, what happened, but they were not that good in the aim as well, so I think that it was the problem.
It was a rough start, still plenty of year, not just in kickoff, but for the rest of the year, and hopefully an opportunity to get better. Let's talk about the other two Brazilian teams that will be joining us on the stage today. You've got 2G, you've got Furia. I want to start with Furia. Give me your general thoughts on them, your expectations going into the season.
I think that Furia have a really good roster. When they hire like Heat, he was playing so well last year on crew. So I think that Furia has a really good roster. They can be the best Brazilian team. Finally, Furia has like the best roster that they have ever had, like in the last 2 years. So my expectations are so high for Furia this year, and I think they can represent Brazil. And we have like other teams representing Brazil on Champions, another than Loud, you know. So I have high expectations on Furia, and I believe they can do like a really good year.
Yeah, I think Heat was a fascinating addition. I was really excited to see him join the fold. You mentioned it, how good he was on crew. And then on the other side of things, and I want to spend a little bit more time here because I think 2G is just a new roster. You had them playing in your invitational tournament a couple months ago, which was incredibly well done, by the way. What are your general impressions on the team just to start?
First of all, 2G was a team that no one expected here in Brazil to go so well in the first year. They got third on the two splits on the challengers, but then they did a boot camp, and when they came back in the Ascension, they were like another team. Like they were different. They were playing so well. Spike, Silence, everyone was playing so well. So my expectations are not that high as I have from Furia, but I really expect that 2G enjoys the moment, enjoy the opportunity, that they can learn a lot in this kickoff for the rest of the year, and then we can see like a better 2G in Split 1 and Split 2. I think that kickoff is going to be just the first experience for the team. They are a really good team. I think they can go further, but I think that kickoff is now just the first experience, you know?
Sure. You mentioned a player that everybody's been talking about, but people don't really know a ton of, Spike, this young phenom who's still not even old enough to compete, but again, you've had the opportunity to watch him play. What is it that makes him so special in your eyes?
Bro, I played like tournaments 2 years ago. He had 15 years. He destroyed me with Neon, playing Neon and Bucky. He destroyed me. He destroyed everyone here in Brazil on ranked games, on tournaments, like VP tournaments. And then everyone was looking for him, and 2G got him. I think that what not everyone knows is, besides his aim, besides his like a golden kid, he talks too much. He's in the bit of the game, he's calling like the right calls. So he's like this golden kid that had a great future, and I think that when he made 18 years, he will play definitely. He has to play. He has to be the main player.
I believe his birthday is in July, and a couple of people have that that date, circled on their calendar. Tishinha, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck with the rest of the co-streams. I know you've got a lot of Valorant to watch. GB, back to you.
Thank you so much for that, Doug. Thank you, Tishinha, as well. Now, 2G had to pull out all the stops to make it to VCT Americas. And here's actually a pivotal moment when everything changed. After falling to the 9-3 curse in the semifinal loss to All Knights, Zap rallied the troops. Check this out.
Hoje você tava pra baixo, nego. Tá ligado? Eu não quero você pra baixo. Quero vocês pra cima, alegre, sorrindo, perdendo, que tá sorrindo. Quando a gente tá perdendo e a gente tá meio abalado, a gente só vai perdendo. Se a gente tá perdendo e ainda tá sorrindo, tá brincando, tá tudo bem, tá todo mundo leve, as decisões são mais tomadas mais rápido, mais fácil. Aquela ult só foi um azar. Eu não fiquei bravo, porque eu vi que a porta fechou na hora, tá ligado? Então não tem problema pra mim, tá ligado? Não tem problema. Eu tomei a ult do Brim, deu tudo errado. Foda-se, o cara ultou, gastou a ult pra matar você. Foda-se, tá ligado? Vem cá, dá um abraço, seu tio aqui. Não quero você pra baixo não, pô. Você é meu filhote, mas tem que estar alegre, sorrindo. Assim que você ajuda o time,
Lembra que
pô.
o Samir falou, Paiquinho, o campeão não ganha todas não.
Pô, isso aqui foi pra gente acordar, negão. A gente precisava disso, a gente precisava dessa derrota, tá ligado?
Tem que estar com a mentalidade de campeão menos perdendo.
Isso, pô. Você não viu não, seu tio lá, mano, quebrando todo mundo. Então, pô, é isso, caralho. Tá ligado? Confiança, mano. Tá bom? Fica, mano, reseta essa cabeça. Se precisar, vai lá, lava o rosto. Você é um insano, velho. Uma partida não te define, não, tá?
Não.
Presta atenção nisso. Ninguém tá ligando que você pinou, você ainda é o Spike, mano. Entendeu? Olha pra mim aqui. Ó, você é o Spike, pô. Tá ligado? Os caras têm medo de você, pô. Então, mano, é isso, viado. É jogo muito mais mental, tá vendo? A gente não pode deixar isso entrar na gente, mano. A gente não pode perder e daí continuar perdendo, tá ligado? Meus pontos de hoje.
That's what leaders do. That's what leaders do right there. That made me a fan of him. All right, Zap, we're going to become best friends this year. I can't wait. Get to know you.
And I mean, for context on that moment, right? They went from losing that game to turn things around, win Ascension, and earn their spot here. When you are thinking about this team, it is all about Zap. Because not only is he that clear leader out of the game that you saw in that clip, but he is making excellent calls as the IGL when they're playing. And on top of that, is going out and top fragging the Ascension final.
Yeah, just absolutely insane. What really shocks me about a guy like Zap is how consistently he is able to perform. Like, it doesn't feel like this guy ever has a bad game where he's down negative, even though he's doing all the calling and everything. He's not always the top fragger for the team, but he can be, and he's never going to be the reason why 2G have a loss.
So Spike's not here, but they do have Zap, and that's really the biggest reason I still have faith in this 2G team to have potential in the league, right? He can put a squad together that can win. He's proved that with the guys in Ascension. They may have a sub now, but they still have that core and that proven track record around this leader.
Yeah, no, incredible stuff. And were you going to add anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, too, that you have to, even though people have been a little bit down on 2G, I think, when I listen to Plat Chat, I know they put 2G a little bit low. You're caught on the act. But truthfully, so many teams take big steps back at the start of the year because you have tons of new players, you have new ideas, you don't know what your style of game is yet. Even though they have lost Spike, they still have that core that you're saying. They're going to come in and do a lot better from the get-go than I think people are giving them credit for.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and hear from the man himself because Zap is standing by with Rib. Maybe you can do zip, zap, zop.
I'm hanging out in the 2G practice room. Awesome to be able to say that. I'm with Zap. I got a quick question for you. How have you been able to set up the team here for the big stage debut of 2G?
We have been practicing a lot, so I guess we will do what we have to do, you know? Just play our game, be happy, and that's it.
I love it. Short and sweet. I can feel the energy in here. These guys want to get out and play. Best of luck today in the games. See you out there.
All right. Well, hey, and you love to hear, right? If you keep that energy up, I just like the way that he talked about the game there when he spoke to Spike, when he was like, hey, it happens. You got Brim ulted. Hey, they used the Brim ult on you. That's a good thing, right? Like those little things, I think, really push someone from being just like a good captain to being a true leader.
I think he's going to do a good job of taking some of that pressure off the players today and letting them just remember that they're playing the same game they did in Ascension, the same game they did back in Challengers.
Yeah, it's very rare that I'm as shocked by a leader that's sort of like stepping onto our stage for the first time, but Zap has truly proven his ability, and I just can't wait to see what he can do this time.
Yeah, same. I'm super excited for it. But now that Zap is officially part of VCT Americas, we wanted to give him the ultimate test, a fun game called What's in the Box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
E aí galera, eu sou o Zap e eu vou jogar o que tá dentro da caixa. Tô um pouco nervoso agora, mas vamos lá, né? Vamos ver o que tem aqui. Oh, é gelado. E é meio mole. Parece ser aquelas bolinhas que você coloca na planta pra hidratar a planta, mano. Oh gosh! I have no idea, bro. Tá, agora vamos ver o que tem na segunda caixa aqui, né? Vou devagar. Ó, já vi que tá num... Ah, mano. Ah, esse aqui é uva. É uva, pra mim isso aqui é uva. Ah, mano. Tá, agora vamos pra terceira caixa. Vamos ver o que tem aqui dentro também. Opa, esse aqui é safe, hein? Ah, é um bichinho. Parece um coelho. Um coelho? Tem umas orelhinhas. É uma bola de um coelho. Tem a ver com Valorant? O alarme robô da Killjoy? Não. Ah, é o bichinho do Gecko, então. Com a orelhinha, bichinho que tem orelhinha. É o... Ou é a Dizzy ou a Moshi. Eu vou chutar a Dizzy. Ah! E a última caixa. Vamos lá. Opa. Aqui já senti... Ué, parece uma fruta. Essa fruta não tem no meu Brasil, eu acho, hein? Não, uma pitaia. Vocês podem me falar a cor disso aqui, gente? Não, né? Eu vou na pitaia. Eu acho que é uma fruta, mas eu não vou saber qual que é. Eu vou na pitaia agora. Caraca, seu rato. Eu acho que pra rapaziada que mora aqui, às vezes vai ser mais fácil, né? Lá no Brasil, eu nunca imaginei que alguém me dá um saco de macarrão gelado, tá ligado? Então, tipo, é um pouco difícil. Mas, acho que eu mandei bem ali numas ali. Errei a amostra que eu podia ter acertado, mas de resto foi tranquilo.
Oh, well, welcome to America's Zap. And if you thought the cold bag of spaghetti was weird, wait until you see the rest of the year. In any case, so now the 2025 season has just started, and look, anything is possible, guys, all right? And it's a special time, okay? So let's celebrate and let's preserve the moment. Let's live in the here and now, and we're gonna make a time capsule. That's right, that's how I pronounce it. Now, we've got a secure capsule here that Mimi is showing off, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop some items and make predictions for 2025. And
How
then
is that living in the here and now, Golden Boy? Making predictions?
I'm just reading the thing.
Okay.
And we're gonna put the stuff in there, and then at the end of the year, we're gonna see how wrong we are. But good news, folks, you guys can participate as well. Just go ahead and share. What do you think's gonna happen this year? But I'll start first, though.
Okay.
For me, I'm gonna go with my boy Jogamo, because I believe he will be the Stage 2 MVP. I think this guy is going straight to the moon. He is gonna have one hell of a season. He's on the perfect lineup for him to get activated to be that like world beater. I think this is Jogamo's year again.
I literally agree 100%.
Real. Yeah, I would have said the same thing.
I went that way because I felt like it was a hot take.
I felt that way because I watched this clip.
To be fair, he had a really rough start compared to his actual ability to last year. Started heating up at the end with, the silly Bucky nonsense ace. But I really do think the Bucky is nonsense, and you can...
To
so
commemorate,
what are you going to put in the box?
I'm going to put a picture of Jogamo's beautiful cat Mango at the end of the year. And hopefully Jog signs it for me at the end. All right, there you go.
And we'll just know that means Jaws winning MVP.
Jog's winning MVP.
Okay.
All right.
There it is.
Am I up?
You're up, Mimi.
Mine is about the Rookie of the Year. So I did this prediction like a week ago, and I said that Cortesia will be the Rookie of the Year because I was so high on this guy after watching the Tashinya Invitational and some of his games back in Challengers. And Maviar's first game was rough, but I will not let that color my prediction because this is about the entire year. This guy's mechanics are out of the world. He looks so precise in his shooting. His game IQ, the way he's anchoring sights as Cypher is always on point. And this is a tough category because you have guys like Mada, like Verno making their debut, and I almost faltered. I almost switched to one of those guys, but I'm standing by my initial reaction, and I'm saying that Cortesia, end of the year,
just a
You're the
picture
Rookie of the Year.
No cat?
No, it's just him.
He can't be Rookie of the Year if he doesn't have a cat. Sorry.
He might have a cat.
Well, then put the cat in the
You
box.
want me to draw a cat with
All right, go. What do you got, Ender?
I'm going with the easiest prediction of all time. G2 are winning champions.
Wow.
Just straight up.
I was going to make that one, and then Kurt told me I couldn't.
Yeah,
so
that's
now
because
I
picked it already, and it's because they got Jogamo. I'm telling you, Jogamo on this team is going to make one of the most lethal teams in the history of Valorant. If this G2 roster had Jaw last year, they would have won Champions 2024. If they have Jaw next year, they're going to Champions 2026. So naturally
it makes sense.
they're going to win
2025 because it'll be in the middle. Okay, so the cat's been drawn, and what are you putting inside to commemorate G2's win?
I've got like G2 shades because they're always wearing those.
Are those actually the type of
the
shades
really
they have?
large shades? So yeah, we're going to drop those in there.
All right.
Now, we have a little bit of time here. Let's go through maybe one or two.
It was not just us who did it. So I have a good bit of cue cards here from things. We'll see the predictions for today, and I'm going to read off some of these.
Hit us.
Let's do Baby Bay. Energy Verna will be the Rookie of the Year. It was 50-50
That
for
makes
me.
sense.
That's a real one.
Hey, he predicted energy.
You know, I respect that. Van Silly. All of the Brazilian teams will be top 6 in Americas by the end of stage 2.
Whoa.
That one's crazy, I would say.
Out of this world.
I would say that's ridiculous. Even.
But Loud did win yesterday, so maybe they're better than we think.
Give me one more quick.
Liz, one of the players will have shaved their head. 100% guarantee.
All right, folks. Well, our teams are ready to go. We're going to put everything into the capsule. Check it out at the end of the season. But it's now time. Day 2 of VCT Americas kicks off right now.
Look at me. Who am I? Who am I to challenge you on the big stage? To stand in the way of your dreams? You've never seen anyone like me. And just hope you'll never have to see anyone else like me. My future is certain. Yours is not. I'm fighting for the trophy. You're fighting for second place. Now look at me. Who am I to judge their performance? To hold them accountable? Well, I don't need to be on the team to be a part of the team. To be heard across the world. To care about winning as much as they do. Look at me. Who am I? Better yet, who are we? We are the showstoppers. Something you can't ignore. We don't crack under pressure. No, we bring the pressure. When the competition comes calling, we always answer. It's showtime. There's no turning back now.
Os campeões do Ascension são do Brasil. Make some noise, façam muito barulho para Tio Game.
And they want to make a statement. A definitive victory here for this Ascension squad could be massive for them, and they have the tools to make it happen despite them missing one pivotal piece.
Look, all I'm saying is the other team that promoted from Ascension, the Inverse G2, did so well last year. We've got deep, deep talent here in the Americas region. 2G are going to come out hotter than people expect.
These guys made a huge upset happen in Ascension from the number 2 seed in Brazil to now the 12th team in VCT Americas. Trying to show how much Brazil can do, how deep that talent pool goes.
Oh yeah, indeed it is. Brazil has talent for days, but they're going to have a challenge ahead of them, one that they weren't quite expecting coming into Americas.
E do outro lado, para tentar estragar essa estreia, make some noise, façam muito barulho para Furia.
And now it's going to be Furia's time to make their way out. But the thing is, these are players you've seen before. These are not the Furia players like NW Zera that you've come to know and love that, really become prevalent on these rosters. It's a new look for the team because of circumstances outside of their control. But this is going to be a fantastic matchup.
It absolutely is. This is the Ascension game that very well could have been robbed from us. That Turtle Troop core, top 2 in the regular season, couldn't make it in playoffs. Now a chance to show how good they are against, well, the best Challengers team from last year.
Look, this game today is just the ultimate advertisement for Challengers and Ascension.
Go watch
in
Challengers.
Americas. Literally, watch this. If you like what you see, there's so much more Valorant throughout the weeks between the actual VCT Americas schedule, and you're going to see these guys playing in that this year.
There's some real redemption arcs on that team. Jake, last time he was here wearing a C9 jersey, now making a re-debut on that VCT America stage. It's the same thing for Stellar. He was IGLing for 100 Thieves, now made it back here with the Challenger squad.
Yeah, and for the other guys on the squad as well, big opportunity for them to really, really impress us all. But we'll see, of course, as both teams, are starting to get ready. They'll get set up, and then we'll see where we're going for the match. That one's going to be fascinating, too, because, it's a completely different look.
Absolutely. Wyatt was talking about how innovative that this Turtle Troop squad was with that deadlock last year in Challengers, with a new meta patch, with a new agent coming in. I'm really excited to see what they've cooked up.
I'm going to start punching tables. 3 series we've played, 3 times a Brazilian team has banned Fracture. What is going on?
They don't want to play it, man. Lay off of them.
So sad. It's so sad. I just want to see our teams innovate on that map, but realistically, we're going to be going into some pretty standard maps here between the 2 teams, which is, going to leave us on very familiar territory for the squad.
Do you feel like this is something that benefits 2G or Furia more, given the circumstances?
I would say 2G because they played together as a larger core for longer, and these are all maps I believe that were in the pool when they were, going on that Ascension run.
I mean, the thing is that you can almost say the exact same thing about the Turtle Troop core, right? 3 of them together.
Yeah,
now some of them are playing on YFP. But these guys are all part of the same friend group, playing the same stuff.
Yes.
And Zap coming out the gate with the Tejo of Vice in the mix too. Okay, this comp is sick.
Yeah, this is really cool. So it's Yoru like we've seen a lot more getting played over on Haven, but I want to talk about the Vice because I think it is super powerful, especially after the nerfs to the other Sentinel agents in the pool.
Yep.
The Vice wall, the stall you have in that agent, as well as that ult for overwhelming sights, it's really good.
Different agents paired up, but it's a mirror on the Tejo breach. That combination is so strong for a lot of the basics of Haven. Taking a lobby control, fighting for retakes. Your execs are super powerful. And ult orb management, getting those power ults online is critical for both these teams.
Maps are locked in. Agents are ready to go. Riot Games Arena, why don't you make some noise and send it over to your casters? It's Uber and Wyatt for the call.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. The Sacred Timeline is never going to be the same. Who would have thought 2G make it through Ascension in the fashion they did and don't even get to be the underdog in their debut game in VCT? What is happening? This is a match for the tier 2 sommeliers out there, you know what I'm saying?
It really is. This feels like a Challengers All-Star just little match on the side for fun. It's crazy. I'm excited to see this. Our year of casting Challengers could not have prepared us any better for this matchup that has come out of thin air. I'm so excited to see this Turtle Troop core on the stage, returning faces that we've seen at the top before and in VCT Americas. And then this 2G debut, man. They lit up that Ascension tournament. It was unexpected, and goddamn were they impressive.
We're going to be jumping in Haven first here. A new look comp for 2G. In the past, they played pretty standard with the Astra. This is something very, very different. Back to the Omen. And of course, they've got a real different look here. The Yoru, the Tejo for Zap.
It says a lot about what these pro teams think of Tejo, considering he's been in the game for 9 days, and you see 2 in the server.
All right, Furia already inched their way up mid here. Some exchange of util through the middle of the map, and so some of that Vice util expanded in towards Garage.
Adder is definitely no slouch with the mechanics. He has that beautiful, crispy aim. Lurking right now through Garage as the rest of the squad explode into B. Site is vacant.
They've got another on a clock, though. Surely, at this point, 2G starting to make their way towards Furia, of course, do have a trip, but it's not in a position to spot this out, but they've heard it now. Pressure coming in from mid-window. Zap trying to bring them to bear, at least with that ghost, but Furia not settled on the side just yet, but inside the smoke, it's Cabrera bringing B-Dog down. Jake from back aside trying to turn around and get this recovered, but the spike is loose, and it's up to Penny. 1v4. Clone noted he passes by, and Penny never had a fighting chance.
2G took so much control on that A extremity, pushing all the way out, and it allowed the rest of the team, that trio towards the C site, to remain positioned on that side of the map. Dig their heels in, anchor effectively while those flankers came in. Zap did so much damage while they were, but they as in Furia were pivoting through Garage there. A clean first round for the newcomers.
Furia had unfettered access to the B site, but they didn't want to end there for some reason. Why? They had it smoked out, they were in there.
Yeah, they had that Garage control, they just weren't expecting that flank all the way coming through A, right? So they figured that a C pivot would be more effective than it actually would have been. More players drawn away from that location.
Penny, got to be caught inside this slow and damaging field. Nothing you can do about that. Cabrera able to capitalize, but Penny steps up, takes the damage and the fight out of there, able to apply some pressure from C long. And now 2G have to find him from the backside.
Those timings were fantastic. Penny is weak, trying to press forward though with an SMG recover, get close range with the Stinger where it thrives.
Spike planted.
About time to go in here. Stealth drone had a crack at it now. Prize wants to retake control of Garage here, but Silence is already down. It's up to Zap and Prize to get themselves out of this situation. The former falls. Stella's able to find him with the Sheriff, and Prize is going to walk headlong into this one. Has the weapon, and he has the idea. Furia, fight back.
Some real value there from the post-mortem smoke, from Jake running the Clove. Haven't seen a ton of Clove here and there. Some value extracted though by that additional smoke ability.
This goes here.
And Furia with a well-timed pinch through long and Garage. Penny catching Gobert on the reload. And all of a sudden the momentum torn away from 2G.
A-stack here for 2G. Only Gobert setting up a Razor Vine inside Garage, the loose end here.
Yeah, no reason not to take a bit of a gamble. And we're going to see a hell of a lot of explosive towards this A lobby. Defensively, that Taeho getting it down insta should be pretty free, but you can timing it as the attackers. You can beat those missiles to the punch, get ahead of them at times, especially with a jet.
Yeah, you'd have to tailwind through that. B-Dog spots now, multiple players from 2G looking to challenge there from Sewer. Apply a flashpoint, and that's enough to force 2G away, but already there's pressure on the side for Furia. They've come from A main and they've wrapped around. Penny with the rifle, able to tear shreds off them. And that's 2G's resistance now neutralized essentially on this A side, up to Gobert with nothing but a Sheriff to try and salvage something.
Christy mentioned it on the desk. If you hearken all the way back to the early days of Valor, the first international LAN, Penny was in attendance with V1 as a duelist. He was one of the better duelists in America at the time, and since then had swapped his role a couple times, but coming into the 2024 season, he had posted publicly about the struggles he had on the role swap, that he's locking in, he's playing duelist, he's focused up, and his career has been rejuvenated. He's been slowly climbing back to that higher echelon in American Valorant. He was already stepping it up here, he's looking good.
I mean, the only team that was really able to deal with them in Stage 3 challenges was Extra and Poppin on Rankers, that ridiculous swipe stack group. Yeah, Furia, we don't talk about that too much, but it's an interesting time. 2 rounds here for Furia. Still bringing, of course, the Bulldog through. Full buy now for 2G. A lot of that util here.
Look at the cash already on the Furia side, given they won that kill round, right? I mean, Adder's almost at 9K.
LZ pushing out pretty deep here on C-Long. Just going to embed himself in Cubby by the looks of things. That Razor Vine will stop Penny for the time being. Looks like they're trying to pave the way. Stella there with a salvo to get them in.
It's a lot of presence from Furia. Into Garage, the rest of the team just containing elsewhere. A minute on the clock. 2G had a lot of focus on these extremities, though. Look at LZ pushing even further. It's going to be the tripwire. Does he dare teleport past it? Likely not.
Fault line there to set up Cabrera. Nothing found from it. He's more than happy to sit over to C-Long now that he knows LT's got so much control. Essentially, Furia are being funneled in towards B.
At the same time, though, it's so scary for 2G. Well, Silence picks up a kill. Stellar down over towards A, where some presence is being shown by Furia as the rest of the team try to breach into this B site. They use the little jump forward to trigger the shear, but that's going to waste even more time. 20 seconds on the clock. They've got to make a move.
That Razor Vine there, it also gets smoked out. Here's the TP over that tripwire now. Furia are on a clock. They've got to be quick hitting this side, and Zap's able to shut them down. Solo play here at B. Zap only goes 1 for 1 for the time being. Addo's made his way through A, though. Silence hears this. He's waiting. Well, that could have been scary. But Addo eventually falls, and here is the post plant set up now.
The question is, what is B-Dog going to do? He's going through Garage. He's going to, or rather, Penny is going to have to help B-Dog at some point here.
Big damage there from LZ, but B-Dog takes the job. Oh my goodness, B-Dog! Statuesque in and out of the server, and Penny finishes the job. Hello, Furia.
The B-Dog has been a really dynamic player in the Challengers and the Tier 2 scene for a long time. A guy that people have certainly looked at in the community like, well, how has he not really gotten a chance on a top-tier team? At a time, a Duelist main, now an Initiator main, has really played it all and has been consistent 4 years. This is genuinely the first time he's had a chance on stage to show his prowess.
Like you said, having been in that Tier 2 rotation for a long, long time, rock solid anchor here in that post plant for Furia. Oh, that's got to feel good winning that gun round here.
This is a serious snowball for Furia. Economy out of control, close to a ton of ultimates that they'll be able to bring into the subsequent round here. I'm going to imagine they should win, obviously, since 2G are on the eco. And then 2G's economy will hang in the balance for round 6, and they're going to have to deal with Taeho ult, Rolling Thunder. Furia could really run away with this game early.
LZ is still asking for a lot over towards C Long, though, and gets some damage on towards Ada. Mostly just armor. Furia now have made their way all the way down A Long, as opposed to lingering in lobby for so much of the previous round.
2G have completely given up this A side, and as the smokes go down, I mean, just hellfire of utility. Side is absolutely free.
On this map, though, the retake for the defenders of the A side is painful. It's really difficult. That being said, if you can get your Taeho in position to clear some of these corners before you advance, maybe that gives you an easier time of it.
Yeah, you can get those guided salvos into Graffiti, the position where we're seeing Penny out right now, force a player out into the open, maybe clear people out of hell. And then, you know, when you have that breach utility in tandem, you can expose players.
Guided salvo, not quite enough shots though to really put pressure on the attackers here. But Estelle, my goodness, okay. That happened very quickly as 4 players from 2G had to come down from heaven.
Yeah, the weaker weaponry is ultimately their downfall, but a little teaser, a taste of what we're going to see from both teams at points when they're going to retake that A site. It's tough to be entrenched in some of those close positions. You are going to get forced out into the open.
Yeah, smoke timing not quite giving what they were hoping for there. Stellar eventually is able just to step up through it, and now we come into a very interesting round.
I know, I'm crazy.
I mean,
the chillest man alive.
Say it like you mean it, at least. We have 8 ultimates in this next round of Valorant, Wyatt. Timeout calls here by 2G.
I've been watching Stellar and Valorant for about 4 years straight, yet to see him show emotion. Perhaps today, if they get a cheeky little win, it'll be the first time. This round is going to be explosive. 2G calling the timeout. They need to stabilize. Economy is on the line here. They're going to have 4 ultimates to play with. We'll throw the Omen ultimate out the window. So they've got 3 big ults to play with when we get back into this. Furia have them as well. This is going to be crucial for 2G to hang around in this game. This is potentially the point where they could completely crumble. Furia could run away with this first half.
Potentially very volatile round with 2 iterations of Armageddon on the field, plus a Rolling Thunder from B-Dog. So a lot of space clearing ultimates here from these blast initiators.
I gotta say, I love how Furia have been working the map. 2G have been relegated to holding such passive positions because the lurks for Furia have really been fearless. Adder is taking liberties. He's taking space at will. They're inserting Penny so deep into Garage on multiple rounds, and 2G are forced to play such passive angles to pick up players running, like Penny running through Garage. So I'd like to see them be a bit more steadfast fighting forward at times.
2G have been trying to take that space C long wire, but it hasn't really resulted in anything for them. It's been LZ trying to be audacious, but pretty limited activity for 2G early in these rounds of defense. The shield will activate it here. This could be dangerous. Ada has to duck out of the way as that Arc Rose pops off. But no pressure on that Cypher after the fact.
And he's got the Blade Storm getting it deep into the B site. A lot of space gained.
Nothing to see here. This time, Furia are actually going to settle on B after taking control.
2G are playing for retake here. Bear in mind they have an Armageddon and the Steel Garden to try and rob Furia of some of their primary weapons.
You can see just, how the setup here is for Zap. He is sitting behind the B site, theoretically ready to set that ultimate up. Here's the Steel Garden now. He's going to force Penny right away. Knives are out still, though. Silent thinking about where to emerge from this dimensional drift, and here comes the salvo. The knives, though. That's Maladroit from Penny. No connections there. Jake, though, at least from longer range is able to bring one down, and Ada's there with the spray. Here comes the Armageddon, and Zap has to take this into his own hands. Stella takes his own teammate down with his Taeho ultimate. But it's up to Cabrera now. No chance of really getting a defuse here. He's forced away to save his gun, and Furia put another on the board.
That is disastrous for 2G. We spoke about it in the timeout, how crucial this round was for them. A loss here would result in ultimates expended and economy broken. And that is exactly the case.
Backbreaking. Oh my, that is brutal. A lot happened there, so let's go back over it, Wyatt.
It was cool to see Penny using the Blade Storm in that round didn't come to fruition, didn't get any kills, but popping it because of that inevitable Steel Garden. Yeah, that is a testament to how much damage that ult does. Now, I can't blame myself nor Mimi, but she's killed me in ranked with that like 4 times in the last week. It does a lot of damage to your teammates.
Still, Furia are able to have something like that happen and still comfortably win the round. Keep 2 guns, that economy burgeoning right now. We are into the 7th round, and Furia have 5 of the last 6.
2G want to control A, they're entrenched. Right. That one rifle saved over from the prior round, paying dividends early on.
That's just divine intervention. That timing there for Gobera, he had his back turned initially.
Gobera has to be the super sub for this team. He is the man coming in to replace Spike. So much hype around that young star from Brazil. Oh my God, Adder is so sick with the aim, man.
And here's that neural theft as well. This is going to lay the rest of the plans for the defenders. A little bare. Still, Fury a little battered coming into this. Adder does find that kill, but takes a ton of damage and awkward. Zealous out on the fault line. Pricing sees that on the other side of the boxes here. Flashes himself through. Omen smoke to break up the site a little bit more now. And Price is getting deep. Adder's gone down, and 2G now have a massive advantage. Albeit not in weaponry, so still need to stick this landing. No spike plant yet, Stella's fallen. B-Dog is the one with the payload. Trying to find his way to grab around the side. If he can, that's a second. Oh my B-Dog! Close but no cigar for the breach.
Oh my God, that transfer was disgusting, filthy. Oh my God. What an effort to bring that back.
And Gobera looks offended by what happened.
That is nasty work from B-Dog. Again, those in the past who have wondered, why is he not in the tier 1 team? Why is he not given has not been given a shot at some point?
I mean, like his crosshair up when he was flashed. Gotta feel good though for B-Dog.
And it does keep the 2G economy reasonably low despite that round win, despite an eco round win where typically your economy can, flip. It can get really strong. They weren't able to save rifles.
This is much more proactive for the defenders inside Garage. They want to see a commitment here, and they're going to get it. Gobera sat in the corner. Easy as you like. That's 3 for the super stand-in. Silence doesn't have to commit on this C side of the map. The damage is already done. He gate crashes out and lets Big Brother Zap get involved for his pound of flesh.
That's not ready.
And it's up to B-Dog, the almost hero of the last round, to hold onto his weapon if he can.
We'll see if this is going to be one of those moments where as soon as one of your players, while you're down and out, starts going crazy, starts getting the multi-kills, everybody starts to get amped up a little bit. They begin to feel it too. Silence was able to get that initial kill with the Operator. Was a lethal player for this 2G team in Ascension. And funny enough, in Silence history, I had to quadruple check this. He's played 16 different agents and officials. None of them have been Yoru.
Okay.
I feel like I need to check it again because that seems false that he's played everything, but has just never played Yoru. We'll get the fact checkers on that, but I'm pretty sure this is it.
So far looking pretty good here. And again, now they don't have to sneak LZ all the way down C-Long if they don't want to. They can passively hold out with the op, like we saw before, and get off the angle with a gate crash if things don't quite go the way you want them to. Furia, timeout called here. Makes sense, they've lost the last 2 rounds in a row. Have a chance here to buy up and be competitive once more.
And it's all due to Gobera, 9-5 now on the board. Top fragging the server, at least at the moment, those prior 2 rounds. He has put 2G right back in position to make this little mini comeback, get back in the game in their first half.
And it's something to maybe look forward to in future on the side of 2G. Zap, for me, feels like the Brazilian incarnation of Boostio. He was, at Ascension, always out of his seat, always talking smack.
Talking smack, but
he was. I'm telling you,
the same. I don't think anyone's talking smack to the same level.
That guy,
of Boostio,
he saved the money at the venue by not needing a chair. He
definitely stands as much as Boostio. When they play, they're going to have a standoff. They should play with standing desks, matter of fact, both of them.
Oh, that should be good. But yeah, very, very happy to talk some smack. But this is a game where 2G are locked in. Like I said, they don't even have the privilege of being the underdog in their debut. Then they come out here like, guys, hey, we really need to make a statement. And I think losing to the last minute, super sub NA Challengers roster, probably not the prescribed option.
Yeah. Again, this is pretty much the best super sub NA roster you could throw together to get here.
Deborah, Sim fans in shambles. What have you done?
Silence forced off by that clove smoke. Pretty standard early to deny that deep sight line that a defender could post up. on long. That is the case for Silence, who definitely has to do a lot of fragging for this team with Spike missing. Though this is a very well-rounded roster, I will say. They all had their individual moments of brilliance when we saw them go on that Ascension run to qualify here. Silence was definitely often at the top of the board, though, especially when he gets on that jet.
The raise bar might be an issue here. Yeah, Penny and Jake just have to linger around the extremities of it right now, but we're able to clear the arc rows out. So slowed up our Fury here. Look at the pressure straight down out of B main. They're going for it here, but LC and Gabera get caught out because B-Dog is sat back in a safe spot.
Prize is so worried now. He knows that he could be getting split. There could be a player coming back. But again, it's just Penny through Garage.
Timing.
They have controlled this area of the map round after round.
I love that. Yeah, Stella sitting back on that now. Silence does at least get his one and pulls out of the side.
And all of a sudden, this is doable.
Spike planted.
Of note, Prize is one orb away from that Rolling Thunder. If he finds the kill, he could pop that and win the round.
Yeah, fire it off straight away. You imagine he has to go for it. He got the kill.
And there it is.
Here it is. Rolling Thunder coming through the side, and Silence looks to capitalize. Penny drops down, stuffed up, but this has gone all wrong. Stella now has to clutch it out. Okay, he's sitting on, of course, the salvo. Flashed out with Silence, though, looking to try and take the fight, and Stella will succeed. It's about as close as it gets, folks.
The chillest man alive holds his nerve.
Guys, I'm crazy.
Hopefully we get another hot mic from Stellar, but really, this guy has been fantastic in Tier 2. He was a part of that 100 Thieves core when they were rebuilding post, I mean, this is a long time ago now, but post that like Hiko and Ethan era. 100 Thieves went on a run for a while. Doesn't even say a word. They were getting better and better, and then they had that tough 2023 in Americas, and since then, he's really been stepping it up in Challengers. They had a great 2024.
Pretty heavy fighting here over towards A lobby already. Silence able to win it out. Cyber Cage not enough to protect Adder. They just sprayed him down. Despite that, Furia not really put off the idea of applying further pressure to this A side. Stella, yeah, look, held for his calling, but their 2023 roster really looked like they struggled in the mid-rounds very often.
Now with Adder down, Furia are going to have to be so concerned about an inevitable flank coming from A lobby. 2G should be able to exploit that on the retake. They have Silence with a dimensional drift to get information on these Furia positions, and then you could send in the guided salvos right on top of with his pings. You could get the stun from the fault line there, the Steel Garden. This should be a good retake for them.
Can they put it together quickly enough? Look at Penny getting ahead of it. Straight over towards Zap, but is traded out ultimately. Silence sees everything he needs to now. Fault line set up by his vision on the side, and Jake gets brought down by it. Love that from 2G. That is a brutal site to retake, but they had everything they needed to see the setup there from Furia. Silence for 3. Sees it all with that drift.
Silence is beginning to come to life for this squad too.
Can we talk about how hard that is to do? To retake that site without that level of utility?
Oh yeah, it certainly can be. The counter utility from the attacking team once they have the spike down can be really good. I like that proactivity from Furia. They know they needed to even something up, and that stun did connect. Penny got the first, but was immediately traded out. That was Gobera who found that kill. Okay, that's ridiculous. I believe both players were stunned because he pinged it out and then the fault line came through from Prize, but pretty crazy kill to get regardless.
And I think there was like a Rolling Thunder that came through. He had the gate crash out to not be stunned again.
There's some madness. Furia are still in the lead, but man, 2G are clawing back, and here's an opportunity to get 5 for the first time in this game. Aside from when 2G won the pistol, Furia are on a bad bye.
Hit the B side here because your weaponry is a lot weaker. 2G seem to have a feel for this already. Next Salvo's clearing corners. Gabera though, again, not noticed, again, looking to try and find multi-kills. It's going to be Price instead that gets the job done. That's going to take the wind out of Furia's sails, indeed. Adder gets deep on this side, but eventually has to fight against LZ. And he's underarmed.
That's just a nice little display of the utility that comes through from Tejo, especially in tandem with the breach. Those fast hits, if those guided salvos are still up, even if the concuss is still there to launch at that choke point, you're just cooked. And on an eco round where you have less HP, good game, GG, it's a wrap.
Oh, I love the timing there. Also, some of that counter util defensively was coming out. Yeah, Faith feeling a little better now. Definitely some nerves to shake off, I think, coming into a game like this. Last round of the half here, 2G trail by 1.
You have Stellar with that Armageddon ready to go. Steel Garden has been active for Gobera for a bit, hasn't had an opportunity to use it. Surely is just going to rip that at some point in this round. No reason to not. And it's actually LZ with the op, and it's Silence with an Outlaw.
Okay, not quite what LZ was hoping for. Still wants to post up on that line pretty aggressively. As we smoked out, that Razor Vine will be activated now just to buy a little bit of time as the smokes plume from the attackers. And Furia want to pull back here for a moment. Still a minute to work with.
Yeah, they want to pull back. They committed multiple smokes from Jake, so they're going to have to slow down here for a little bit.
Is this a pump fake?
It is really concerning, though, that they are all on light armor. Silence has the Outlaw. They're still going to have to deal with LZ's op, which they at least knew was on A prior. Could have repositioned by now for sure.
They're going to re-hit this B site, but a lot of that regenerable utility is going to start to come back online. Armageddon available for Stellar. This gives 2G the time to really find an impactful Steel Garden potentially. Into the site they go. Okay, Salva's trying to clear the front. Penny's already in again. Seems to be ahead of the tempo most of the time and catches Zap out. Yet his back turn, but had an aftershock in his face anyway. Gobera sees no action though, realizes that this is a full B commitment, nothing through Garage, and is just holding onto it so no one wraps around. Here's a Steel Garden though. Primary weapons put away here for the attackers, and 2G have to capitalize here. Look how close Furia are playing so they can still get value out of those pistols. Eventually that times out though, and Jake is waiting with the rifle. Blade Storm there for Penny is good, and Furia hold it down.
That was some big value from the Armageddon with Stellar. Was saving that just as the Steel Garden popped. Use that to completely deny those two players and see Link from getting into the site. By then they had their rifles back, they had the crossfires set up. 2G made a good run at it, getting back into this game, keeping things close. After Furia were on tear for those first 6 rounds or so. Still retaining that lead, but it is small as it's been so far in the map.
Yeah, means that this pistol coming up in the second half is going to be pretty darn impactful. We'll give you guys at home a chance to take a breath, and when we return, we'll see the second half of this first matchup between 2G in their debut against Furia in their debut. NA Challengers, baby, it's all happening.
Oof, stuck paying for that old phone? Don't be. You know, at Verizon, we'll pay off your phone. And you'll get iPhone 16 on us. That's a value of up to $1,600, only on Verizon.
Well, a bunch of rounds strung together by Fury there in that first half. Started to make them look like there was a risk they'd run away with the game, but 2G, why demonstrate the same resilience we saw in Ascension, the same resilience that got them here in the first place, and then keep it close at halftime.
And that comeback began with their substitute for arguably their best player, who is too young to play right now. Gobert filling in. He found that 2K on an eco round, and that's where things were beginning to get wrangled out of Furia's control. That subsequent round, he got a 3-piece as well. So massive credit to him. He really brought 2G back into this.
They're great variations in positioning on defense through Garage and in the B side. But 2G on the attack side now. Okay.
Yeah, and all the while, the teleport was set over at C, where the real hit is going to come in for 2G. So Silence is met up with the rest of the squad. Wow, Furia, they are flooding in fast. The whole team is here.
Yeah, they don't want to get caught outside this side. They've actually been able to get in. Sat inside this smoke here, but 2G have called a cancel on this fast C hit now. But they have no map control anywhere else. Okay, LZ just going to fight this one. Stella gives in to his primal instincts and goes down.
That is really tough now for Furia. Looks like they want to re-push again. They're just ready to fight mid.
I mean, Gobert is, again, set up to punish something like this. There's a crossfire in the making. Gobert just takes the fight. B-Dog's in deep trouble, bleeding out behind the boxes. And Penny trying through mid-window to make something happen, but Furia just seem like they don't want to sit still.
They were certainly fearless or a little bit antsy, however you would describe it. They certainly decided to walk at 2G. They got into C so quickly, but that was a great read from Zap to cancel the push. Had they actually gone for that C execute, they probably would have been cooked. Furia were there with some pace.
2G have had to play against all nights on this map. I think they're conditioned for teams that like to run at them on defense.
That is a very, very fair point. All right, in the first half, 2G, they won the pistol and then immediately got eco'd. Let's see if that unfortunate fate awaits them here or if things will continue to stabilize for them.
They still want to push up. Look at them. So adamant about asking the question of 2G early in the round, and Penny has gotten pretty deep. Straight up mid-window, nothing really to spot this out. In fact, it's 2G expecting something from the A side of the map. Gobert, though, does punish the peek out of Garage.
That was just a little jiggle one-tap, it looked like. Penny, it's an opportunity for the kill, but Bryce is a little bit too fast, running around with the stinger, and 2G clean things up.
Well, and here's it all, but there's no chance of getting a weapon upgrade here. He's going to be forced back from the doorway. Still able to find one, but it was just out of length, and eventually he's wall-banged into oblivion. 2G had the right weapons to deal with a push up there from Furia.
They've carried 4 over. A couple stingers, so they're going to want to close the gap on this execute. Whatever they have plans to go for here. And you have to think as a series goes on, as it gets deeper and deeper, as there are more rounds played, 2G are the real team here with a ton of experience. You have to imagine they have a deeper playbook, that they can go the distance in a game against Furia, who at a point might just be resorting to the raw fundamentals, the raw gunplay.
Gobert continuing to look good here in the second half. A player who was in a team relegated from Brazilian Challengers last season. He's come alive. Oh, I like this. Okay, LC, that's pretty darn deep.
Takes a
hit there.
Hell of a lot of damage with their own missiles. Has to back up. The spray damage is so dangerous. But at least inserted here, it's forced the Furia players back, holding some more passive angles.
His regen shield topped him up a little bit now. B-Dog starting to get a little hungry. Wants to push into this now. This is to slow down the attackers. That salvo thrown out from the back of B. Penny again creeps up.
Definitely going to have to at least get his. You do have B-Dog rotating close, though. Could have some supportive utility. Off Penny's contact, a fault line can come through, and
there won't be a crossfire.
Maybe that'll be enough for him to get 2.
Up to Penny. 1, 2. The timing's not quite there, and LZ finds him.
That is rapid from LZ.
And that's a fault line that really doesn't get anything. Nobody else is there to capitalize. That is a big investment to make in Penny with that rifle, and it has been handed over to LZ.
If he doesn't hit that shot at that speed, he's more than likely going down. The stun is about to pop onto him.
Could have been even worse. Might not have just been LZ. Multiple players caught inside that fault line, but here we go. Tripwire going to be set up here on that C site. It's going to slow them down a little bit, and Adder still wants to play forward. Flash comes in, Paranoia connects, but Adder's inside the smoke, and he sees LZ coming. Now wants to wrap. Gobert is there, brought down. Adder is all over the site here. Some players have snuck into the backside, though, and Zap wants to wrap back around. Now the 1 versus 2, but yeah, not much to be done here. Time not on his side.
Stellar just had enough utility, had the guided salvos ready to further delay. When the clock dwindles that much and you're playing against these agents, it's nearly impossible to stick the plant. Furia really playing to the win con at the very end. Oh, that is a filthy shot.
Just been too long. Too late hitting the side. Eventually, they are disrupted. All right.
Good little two-piece from Adder there as well. Able to swing onto Gobert and win that second duel. High-impact kill.
Dangerous. Both those 2G players ultimately stunned up by the fault line, but it was a feint from Furia. They never looked to capitalize, really.
Penny playing forward, but does opt to retreat. Has two teammates
Careful there.
ready to go. It's B-Dog and Stellar that are on that A site. Brought to the utility they've got. Here comes a stealth drone actually from Stellar. It's pretty far away, but it has a long duration. Even from all the way back there towards spawn, he's able to get some decent information into sewer.
And if you walk it backwards at your opponent, it doesn't ping them. They don't know it's coming.
That's the secret Riv tech.
It's the Rivington Bisland tech. Oh. Playing that corner, of course, right there is Penny. Jump spot attempt there for Stellar. He's trying to get a Q at least to send the spotlight off. Smokes are coming in, so this is be as good a time as any. Silence is in, though. Dimensional Drift yielding a decent amount of information about where the entrenched defenders are playing from. Silence, though, doesn't want to emerge on the side itself. He'll play back. It's Stellar finding his first.
The problem is, again, Furia, they are so fast at flooding into the site together that 2G know they have to run, but in the meantime, Adder controlling mid, takes down Silence, just creeping through the cages.
So easy to cross. Both cages use it now. It's messy. Zap steps in. Gobert at least. He's able to trade. He's 17-9 right now, but it's going to take more than that this round, I feel. At 2 versus 4, Furia will allow the plant and play for the post.
Look at this. Penny is coming from long. There are going to be multiple angles that Furia want to crunch these two players with. I like that they're pressing forward, though. They want to try to isolate somebody, but B-Dog is so ready for this. Look at his position.
They're running out of cameras, though. Good opportunity there for Price. Just one. Gobert has to stand up here. Jake with AD strafe is good enough. Furia extend their lead to 2.
Especially when you have that speed with the Clove. Well done from Furia, just getting into the site in time. Again, 2G, they're playing these pretty slow rounds. The clock has been their enemy 2 in a row now. And you do have to credit their opposition, though, for forcing them down to that low time. They know that if they hit the A site, they're cooked. They have to rotate off. Adder's ready.
Fucking go.
Again, the most mild excitement from these guys, but
listen, it's not how you say it, it's what you say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I mean, I'm glad you brought that up. Pick Me Up actually pretty insane for Clove in that it makes your strafing that much more effective.
It's so obnoxious.
Really hard to
try
hit in.
It's so obnoxious, and all of a sudden they've got a ton of health to fight you with too.
Like, how do you hit him? So annoying.
Timeout called here from 2G, who are going to be putting all the cash on the line here. Does Furia regain this lead? Close to some ultimates are 2G as well. We'll see if they try to put a little emphasis on getting an orb here. Gobert one away from that Steel Garden, and Zap is close to the Armageddon 2.
Last time we saw Steel Garden, it sort of actually timed out before 2G were able to capitalize because of some utility coming the way of Furia that delayed.
It definitely can be tough to get much value from the Steel Garden, especially with Penny playing ahead of it by saving his Blade Storms for when it's used.
Does not turn that off.
From him, yeah, just a good way to negate that.
I don't think he's going to turn that off. Is KO suppression. Or I guess the stealth drone suppression could do it. Either way, speculative at best. Round 17 is coming at you, folks. Furia have that 2-round lead here, and Ping's already going straight up the guts.
And in the meantime, you have the Furia side on defense. It looks like they want to control towards A. That standard stun line from B-Dog.
Okay, again, a lot of those salvos exchanged in A lobby there.
Yeah, and look, so B-Dog is pressing up all the way A long, and that's allowing this early rotate towards B. Trio of Furia players await this hit.
They're being funneled in. Furia had a read on this round. They kind of knew it would be coming in the B direction. Silence gets deep, though, and Stellar just flashed out. Couldn't do a darn thing about it, but Jake and B-Dog are inside the site, and they are holding it down. The anchoring is supreme. B-Dog found 3 in the end, and it's down to Cabrera. His own Razor Vine about to expire in front of him, and he needs to find a plant, and he has the time.
Has the ultimate too.
He lets it go straight away. Oh, the weapons still out for Penny. The Steel Garden not quite in effect quickly enough.
Furia really have a read on where these hits are coming in on. You have to give credit to Stellar IGLing the squad right now. They get that early A control. Penny's pressed all the way through. He's already flanking through window as the rest of the team are anchoring the site.
And he's been doing this. He's been doing this all game. getting up as close as, even on that eco round, I think after losing the pistol, they had 2 players in mid-window on defense. Trying to be audacious here and also just kind of eliminate some of the possibilities for 2G to make it easier to get all your players ready to receive these hits.
Going to be on that bad buy. They have a hero rifle in the hands of Zap, their IGL. Gobera with the Guardian. Still a 20 bomb right now for him.
Drone is down.
Stealth drone sees that the Omen has TP'd across. Still a thought about the salvo there.
And that long A B-Dog is ready to take this initial fight. Dash away, has Stellar to try and swing for the trade as well. Oh, crisp as ever. Tries to pick up Sewer now with the rest of 2G. Wait him, it is risky. He knows he needs to run.
And he just gave it a shoulder peek. Stellar wise enough not to fully commit to picking up that
Great
line.
concuss there too from him.
Here comes Penny wrapping around, shot the clone in the end. 2G are on this A side, but they're taking their time. There's a smoke in their way. They're going to emerge, flash themselves through it here. I like the idea there from Stellar that are tucked next to the box, but it was spotted out by LZ, and a quick sheriff shot rings out. Awkward spot for B-Dog, but they've interrupted the plant, and the smoke set up for Jake is perfect. They're able to get onto the site. Not dead yet, pop it. It wasn't even needed. That is stunning from Furia.
Really playing it to that Clove ultimate. Jake knows he can just send it. If he gets one,
the greatest decoy.
And he comes right back to life and is serving as a distraction too. The speed from Furia is so impressive for, I mean, again, yes, this is the core of a team that competed all of Challengers 2024. So that is of significance, but it is still a pug team to some extent being thrown together. The first sign of excitement from these guys.
You want to be excited. That's a big round to win. Now, though, 2G able to buy back. We've got Armageddons on both sides. LZ there, this time fakes the TP. He's trying to condition something at A, but no one's really biting.
Armageddon in the hands of Zap. 2G IGL. Slower for Furia right now, or by slower, I mean more passive. They haven't pressed up for that A-long control, and their C-side, they haven't been as expeditious going towards long as 2G were when they were on the defensive half. They were pressed in deep very often. Gobera just getting inserted into Cubby.
Zap does not reveal B-Dog with his stealth drone. He himself was pinged out, though, so B-Dog knew just to bide his time. It's a massive pick off the Tejo off the map. He had the Armageddon.
That's the ultimate removed off the table.
This is the round you want it in, Wyatt.
It's the round you wanted, and especially because Furia have 2 significant ultimates, Rolling Thunder, Armageddon of their own. 2G's economy on the line.
Here.
They're inching up now. Adder on the line, knows this is coming. This has been called out to him by Penny, who's giving a bit of space this round instead. Timing. It's pretty good. That's going to be one for Adder. A second. Here's a Rolling Thunder coming through. Prize is affected by it entirely. Adder gets his 2. Jake's going to be there to throw down. It's up to Gobera. 2G. They had to win this round to stay truly competitive in this map. And now there's a smoky between him and the Spike.
They have 12 seconds. Painfully dwindling off the clock as Gobera is just forced to save a rifle to the next round. We've seen him be a hero in this situation already. He did it in the first half. That's
Will he get to keep this?
Got back in. Oh, no, he will not. Double swing from Furia to rob him of the only hope 2G may have had in this round.
This is 2G's map pick. They chose this map.
It's just painful, but you can't be anything but impressed by this Furious squad, man. Look at this tsunami of utility flooding through the B site. You're getting stunned into the Armageddon damage. Oh my god, man. Brutality.
All right, Silence does at least have the dimensional drift.
Who's next?
Information game. That's where 2G are favored in a round like this. Straight away, Silence is going to go in. What can he glean? A lot. A lot. Player sitting backside here. He's going to meddle with them a little bit by throwing those flashes in. And he wanted to commit, but Adder brings him down. He's ready for it. Up against the smoke. Adder finds yet another one. Finally, his moment in the sun. A chance to show what he's made of here on the international stage. That was close. Oh, my shot. Oh, howdy. 1 versus 1, Stellar. To right the wrongs of the past.
Both IGLs.
Zap here living dangerously, gives it a tickle. No stick of the spike yet, and Stellar is wise to it. Doesn't show himself again. He's already anticipating a rotate off of C.
And the longer this goes, both these Taihos should be cycling those guiding salvos as well.
In we go. Tentatively, Zap knows the game rests on this play.
And he did just get that signature ability back.
Guided salvo in a post-plant especially
30 seconds left.
to dissuade Stella from stepping up. Zap has to commit to this now. 25 seconds left, and here comes Stella.
Spike planted.
Both Taihos with their salvos available. It's a game of chicken! But Stella has his dinner! And that will be Furia, shockingly, from NA Challengers with Love to take the first map in this series. Haven is a 13-7.
2G's pick ripped away from them by the NA Challengers side that Furia had recruited here. I mean, you've got the 5 Brazilian players watching this like, hey, thanks for winning, but can you guys be a little less good?
But you tone it down.
Tone it down. You can win, but a little bit closer. You know, I mean, my God, they looked electric, man. That was some sickening defensive play.
And I tell you, this wasn't even the quote-unquote best team in NA Challengers, let alone, obviously, a team that didn't even make it to Ascension. That is the depth of talent we have waiting in Tier 2. And that is what so many teams in VCT Americas have been leveraging this year, digging into those reserves in Tier 2, whether it's been in Brazil, in North America. So many incredible players to choose from, and they're being put on full display right now, but we've got more to come. We're stepping away, but up next, Golden Boy and the Analyst Desk are going to break down this ridiculous map number 1.
Red Bull gives you wings.